I am Nancy Greever Brooks, and I have come home to southwestern Virginia after living in many places all over the country. And I'm here to pursue my own joy in production of artisan work, and I hope I can maybe share it with other people. I work mainly in fused glass, kiln-fired glass, but in the past several years I've augmented that by using lots of polymer clay, which has just opened up a whole new dimension. My subject matter is generally pretty frivolous. I like to laugh, and often the things I make me laugh. I love color, and I use lots and lots of color, but basically glass is the major starting point. And so it's mixed media, essentially, is what I do. The raw materials that I use to create these pieces are basically sheets of glass. And there's nothing more exciting than getting a truckload of flat pieces of glass. That's the basic material I use. But then I do order art glass, which is the colored glass. It's the glass that you find in stained glass windows. My life philosophy is just make the best of whatever situation comes your way. Just put one foot in front of the other and keep marching. I am inspired by my environment, and my environment includes books, magazines, television, nature, my dogs. I mean, it's just everywhere there's inspiration. I'm not particular. I have a huge regard for things that are handmade, one of a kind. And I think in the way our world is today, the value of handmade, one of a kind work has escalated. It's a pleasure to me to work with these materials. I've always been fascinated with changing matter from one form to another. And this particular occupation has really capitalized on what heat can do. Back in the day, I used to cook a whole lot, cook a lot. And that was changing, flour and butter with the heat of a stove into a cake. And that is essentially the process that I use now. It has laid out a lifestyle for me that has been very satisfying. I've been able to use it to, it's an escapism for me, and it's also opened up a lot of doors and social activities and just adventures that I would probably never have had I not been involved in the arts. The process that I use, particularly with the glass, is to pick up a sheet of glass and lay it on a horizontal surface. Use the glass cutter to score it. And the running pliers to break it into whatever size piece I'm looking for. Frit, glass frit, is a material used to color float glass. It's been colored in a factory somewhere and then ground up in little bitty pieces. It's very much like sand and can be sprinkled on the sheets. And as the material melts, the frit melts and becomes integrated into the float glass. And then those pieces are stacked on a mold material it's a refractory material. It's something people used to make furnaces out of, so it can stand intense heat. And that is then heated in a kiln. It's elevated above the kiln floor and heated to the point where the glass is semi-liquid. And maybe some people know what it means to say icing in the softball stage is the consistency that you want the glass. And so it drips down hits the shelf at the bottom of the kiln, and you have to stop the heat right then. Otherwise, it all drips through, and you have a plate instead of a vertical statue. Well, sometimes they have to be fire polished, and little shards of sticky pieces of glass have to be removed. But essentially, they're good to go. And glue. My favorite E6000 glues these vertical columns to a base. Often, I've used lots of this technique to make wine goblets. I have to specify that I don't consider myself an artist. I consider myself an artisan. I make basically functional, three-dimensional work, and it in my mind is different from fine art. It's not fine art, but it's very entertaining, and it's entertaining for me. I hope it's entertaining for people who look at it. And even if they don't like it, they can still laugh at it.